Today I'm going to go back to Forbidden City. As you can see from my videos yesterday, the air quality today is about average. Yesterday was beautiful. Usually after a day of rain, you get a fairly nice day, in my experience, having lived in Beijing for a month. The month of September. I think October would probably be a more pleasant month to visit if you're coming here. In October the leaves change color, but it's still pleasant enough to be outside, and the crowds will have thinned out a bit more than they do for September. It's Sunday, the 28th of September. I fly home tomorrow. Golden Week is a holiday that runs from 1st of October to the 7th, but the way it's scheduled this year, I don't know if it changes from year to year. Most people took off from yesterday, which was the 27th, to October 9th, so that they get 2 weekends on either end of the holiday. And they all go home to their province, their home province. There's Mao. They're having their 65th celebration anniversary. In 1949, in October of 1949, Chairman Mao stood up on the Tiananmen Gate here and proclaimed the People's Republic of China. Security was much easier to get through today when you get off for Tiananmen East or West. I took the bus down today, bus 82 from near Nanlugu, where I'm staying. Taking the metro here can be annoying since most East Asian cities are laid out according to the model of Xi'an, which set the trend of a palace at the center of a city with walls around it, rectangular shape, which is great if you're the emperor, but if you're the proletariat trying to get to work, or even to get to the palace in the center from wherever you are, most of the metro systems have to ring around the palace. So instead of having a central depot for transit, a central transit hub, Tokyo has the same problem. The Imperial Palace is at the center and everything goes around it. And so you think, oh yeah, it's great, I can take the train and, you know, circle around Tokyo on the Yamanote line. It's a major pain in the butt and it takes forever. If there was a central depot, it'd be much quicker to get where you were going. Of course, the attraction of coming to cities like Tokyo and Beijing are that they have old palaces like this. I think the Imperial Palace is overrated. You can go into the Tiananmen Gate if you get a ticket from over here. Go through security again. And then there's an exhibit up top. I don't think there's anything that you can't see at other palaces at the Forbidden City. So if you have a limited amount of time in Beijing and you're okay with going back home and telling people that you didn't go here, because, you know, everyone's going to ask you if you went here. But you have to keep in mind the people that'll ask you if you went here are all stupid idiots. And that's why they're asking you if you went here. Because they're stupid idiots and they've never been here, and the only connection they have with China is Forbidden City, Forbidden City, oh my god, Forbidden City. It's the biggest palace complex in the world. Well, guess what? You're an idiot. Most of it's closed to the public, first of all, if you want to put it in perspective. You only get to walk through a very narrow access of it. Second of all, you deal with this horse shit. The loudspeakers, the tour groups, the security checks. I'd recommend you take your valuable time and do something else. And all the things that I've seen in here, I can point you to other places in China where you could see the exact same thing. The big doors with the 81 brass knobs, you can see that in a lot of other places without the crowd. The porcelain gallery was very nice, but guess what? None of the pieces I saw in there were pieces that they didn't have in other places. Not to mention the fact that if you want to see the best Chinese art, you have to go to Taiwan. Because Chiang Kai-shek and the KMT took what they could, all the best pieces, back to Taiwan when they fled to Taiwan. Not to mention the fact that the Japanese, a decade earlier, went and looted most of the stuff from here. So, and a lot of what you're seeing at the Imperial Palace has been burned down and rebuilt. Supposedly there's one gate that never got burned down. So it's not original. Most of it dates from the 1800s. So now that we're through into the pre-staging area for the Imperial Palace, I can go get tickets from over here. And then I go through another security check. That's the annoying thing about Tiananmen Square and all this. There's so much crowd control security issues. The metro has its security. You get off the metro to get in Tiananmen Square. To get in here, you go through another security. You get in line, you get your ticket, you go through another security. It moves along. It's not that annoying. But if you're here for 3 days, I wouldn't formulate my opinion on China based on this. It's like going to Times Square in Manhattan and looking at that and going, oh my God, Times Square, it's just like it is in the movies. Well, if it's just like it is in the movies, then why did you go there? Why did you take your valuable few hours you had in the country and go somewhere that looks just like the movies? Maybe you could go somewhere that they don't show in the movies. They make a big deal about the hutongs in Beijing, but honestly, the hutongs, which are the little alleyways, that is like China 1.0, you can see that in almost any town in China as well. So if I was here in Beijing, would I spend my time in the hutongs? Yeah, I'd probably go eat, you know, after 5 o'clock when everything else is closed. I'd walk through one, get something to eat. And I'll go in this one. It's about the same. So that's my recommendation. But if you're going to do it, if you're going to come here, get up early and try to come on a weekday, non-holiday. If you can, they'll actually honor a student price here. I got in, I think, for 20 yuan yesterday. So that's not bad. That's a pretty good price. There are things that are worth seeing here, but like I'm trying to point out, if you have a very limited amount of time, like most tourists do, there are other places you can go and see all these things without the crowd and get a dose of something that, you know, if you have a guidebook and it shows you a 3D cutaway version of this place, you basically understand what's here. It'd be more valuable for you to go somewhere else, I think, and experience something that isn't really explained in the guidebooks, like the Chinese Ethnic Culture Park off line 8. That's not in any of the guidebooks. It costs 65 if you get a student price or 90 to get in. It's a bit expensive. But it has all the architecture from the ethnic tribes of China. And they do some actual demonstrations because some of the booths are actually manned by members of the ethnic tribe. So I'd recommend doing that with the extra time you have. You get a lot more out of it.